Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Reata Horsemanship. I'm Luke Brown. I'm very excited to be with you here today on Motivational Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope it was stupendous. I hope you were able to get some downtime if you weren't working. I hope you had fun if you were working. And I certainly was rejuvenated this weekend. I actually watched a little bit of NFL football last night, which was a lot of fun for me. And I enjoy that, and I enjoy some downtime. Today, the horse that I'm riding right now, this is Hades. He's the middle-aged quarter horse that came to me for some sensitivity training. He needed to learn how to get off pressure, how to yield to pressure, give to pressure, and he's gotten so much better at that. I can, on the ground and in the saddle, he's much lighter. He's a lot lighter when I pick up on those reins, and he gives to me vertically and laterally. I can move his hips left and right, move his hips up under him, and get him to lope on different leads. There's a lot of stuff that he's learning how to do. I was counter-cantering him this morning, and he's getting pretty good and flexing correctly in the right direction when I'm counter-cantering. And then on the ground, he's getting much lighter. Every once in a while, he needs a little extra pressure, a lot of extra pressure to get him to kind of wake up and start trying harder. But once he figures out that you're serious about moving his feet, then he'll start to really try hard for you. So he's just one of those horses that has never really tried real hard to please. He's quite easy generally, but he just doesn't want to try real hard, and so he takes some extra pressure to get there. But he is really coming along, and I think his owner is going to be very pleased with how well he's doing, and she's going to have an enjoyable horse to ride and to work with on the ground. And I'm going to certainly teach her some stuff too before he goes home with her. And today, for Motivational Monday, I want to talk about how important it is for us to get uncomfortable. And so often, especially in today's world, I was just listening to a book by David Goggins called Can't Hurt Me. And he was talking about it when he was in New York, and he was looking around, and he says, people have gotten so soft. We live in a soft society. And if you know anything about David Goggins, his mantra and his motto is stay hard. He talks about really reinforcing our mind and creating a stiff, rigid, tolerant mind to challenges in life. And one of the ways to do that is to work hard physically, and to push yourself past boundaries that otherwise you thought you couldn't handle, that your body couldn't handle, that your mind couldn't handle. And learning how to do that helps us get our mind hard so that we can tolerate the challenges that are going to come in our life. And he talks about how society has gotten soft, and he was walking around New York, and he sees all these people on these scooters and on just about not even bicycles. He said bicycles are sitting in garages and sitting on the sides of the streets rusting, and everybody's using these scooters and other forms of transportation where they hardly walk anywhere. They hardly get any exercise. And he said it's really a shame that people don't physically work harder. Like back in, let's say, just 30 years ago, people used to work a lot harder generally. A lot of jobs were more physically challenging. People had a lot more manual labor to do. And that goes back to way back in the farming and ranching communities. There's some that still exist, but 50 years ago or maybe 80 years ago, about 80% of the people used to be farmers and ranchers, and they used to have to work really hard physically every day. And not only does that help your mind when you work hard, whether you're exercising and getting some kind of physical labor done, it helps your mind, it helps your body, it helps your spirit, it helps your energy, and it helps strengthen not only your mind but your body as well. And when we don't have to do things that are physically challenging, sometimes that can wreak havoc on our minds. I'm going to come over here, and this horse is rolling. He's ground tied over here, but I don't want to roll him with my saddle. Anyway, he was ground tying out here. So back to getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's my main message today is, let's focus this week on being comfortable with being uncomfortable, or with getting uncomfortable, or getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Either way, if we're feeling uncomfortable, too often we have the tendency, all of us do, because we don't like to feel uncomfortable. We want to get as comfortable as possible as quickly as possible. So we try to get outside of the situation that's causing us discomfort. But if we will start to relax and be comfortable with being uncomfortable, that's going to help us grow. Because the only way we can grow, whether I'm working on my muscles or working on my mind, the only way those can grow is if I feel uncomfortable. If I'm not making my mind uncomfortable, I'm not growing. If I'm not making my body uncomfortable, I'm not growing. If I want to build my cardiovascular endurance and I don't push myself on the treadmill or push myself to run down the street or push myself to bicycle or to swim, whatever it is to build my cardiovascular endurance, if I'm not willing to get uncomfortable when I'm doing that, if I just want it to be comfortable, I'm not going to get very far. I'm not going to grow very much. So be comfortable with getting uncomfortable. And when we can do that, we're going to grow in our lives. So this week, pay attention to, hey, is something getting hard and getting difficult? And what are you doing? Are you leaning into that discomfort? Are you trying harder? Are you continuing your journey forward despite the discomfort? Or are you backing off and quitting because of the discomfort? When you feel discomfort, when you feel uncomfortable, push forward. Learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's something that I'm trying to learn too. Last week I was in the gym and I was working out, and these kind of thoughts were going through my mind. And let's say I had a repetition, the reps of doing like some pull down reps of 15, and I had a certain weight and I was pulling down 15, and I thought, okay, my max is 15, but what if I tried a little harder and really gave it all the effort I could, and I was able to get out 17 reps. So I got 2 more reps when I didn't think I had 2 more reps in me. And that was another example of getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Push ourselves to the brink, and we're going to start to learn. We're going to learn how to tolerate higher pressure, and we're also going to start to grow in our mind and in our body. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Until next time, be thankful, live with purpose, live with passion, and as always, stay safe in the saddle.